You can begin to watch the breath, feel the breath. While you're watching and feeling the breath entering and exiting the body, you might notice any physical sensations, any thoughts, any worries or agitations. Just take note for a moment. Watch things drift up and float by. And as you settle in deeper and deeper to the breath, you feel that calmness coming over you. You allow yourself to let go. And in this moment, be present. Know that in this moment you have what you need, that you are safe. And just begin to watch the breath flow with more attention. Mind's eye might begin to watch the flow as it enters and exits through the nose. With each inhalation, you fill up and elongate through the crown of the head. And with each exhalation, begin to feel that deepening and denseness in the thighs and the shins. The backs of the thighs settle deeply onto the heels. The shoulders float down the back. Continuing in that nice deep flow of inhalation and exhalation. Finding a pattern and flow that suits you today, that suits your body. And if you add on a Jaya Pranayama breath this morning, you're drawing in like you're sucking up a straw, and you're exhaling as if you are fogging up a window. And you can do that through the mouth until you feel comfortable, and then continue through the nose. And when you add on a little restriction, like you draw in through the vocal cords, you draw in like through the roof of your mouth, you draw everything up and in, and that allows for that audible flow of breath. And that can be a really nice practice to layer over your full 3-part breath. And as you settle into the breath flow, calm the physical body, calm the mind, take a moment here to set an intention for your practice, offering up a prayer of love and light, hope. Maybe just offering it right out into the universe and allowing yourself to let go of anything that would impede. And throughout your practice, come to a place of self-love and know that the deeper we bring ourselves to our own self-love, the more we're able to give and love others. Draw the hands to heart center. We ask this practice bring us a deeper connection to our inner wisdom, to our heart consciousness, that we may better serve ourselves and others. With a slight opening of the eyes, sweep the fingers down and up, drawing the hands down through heart center, filling up as you sweep the arms up, and emptying everything out as you draw the hands down through heart center. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Bring that left hand down, walk the fingers left, bend into that left elbow, and draw the right arm over, creating that nice deep arch. Inhale, and you bring the both arms back up, gaze up. You bring the right hand down, walk those fingers, and then plant the hand. Come in nice and deeply, breathing into the left side body, bringing both arms up. And one more time to the left, the hand comes down and the right arm comes over. Maybe you're gazing up at the crease of the elbow. Maybe you're drawing the right elbow back just a little bit. Inhaling, arms up, bring the right arm down. Good, extend to that left arm. Inhale, both arms up. Twist to your left now. Elongate through those arms And then bring the arms down towards the left, the right hand pressing into the outside of the left knee, gazing deeply over the left shoulder, lifting to the crown of the head. Inhale, draw those arms up, twisting to the opposite side. Left hand presses into the right thigh, gazing over the right shoulder. Good. And then come on back to center. Give you a little bit of a shift here to the left. Bring your right foot and sweep it over. Extend your arms up, gaze up, twisting back towards the left. Just bring the arms down. So now the right elbow is pressing into that right inner thigh. Gaze left. Exhale and come all the way back around and just bringing yourself up and over to the right side. Bring the left foot up and over. Extend the arms up, gaze up, and then twist to the right. Left elbow comes inside that inner thigh. Gaze over the right shoulder. Good. Coming on back around to center. Coming up onto the knees. And now from here, if you have that block, bring the block down in front of your knees, and you're just going to come up. So you take the left foot and plant it right next to the right knee, and you curl the toes on the right. And then from here, bring that block down, bring your knuckles down onto the block, and we're going to lift up as we inhale. So the tailbone lifts, and the crown of the head drops down. So feel if you press the right heel down towards the earth, so you can see me, the right heel presses down towards the earth, the right hip draws forward, and the left hip draws back. And really drop that head down. You get a nice deep stretch. And then dropping everything back down, emptying all the breath out. Good. One more time, lifting up and folding. You can press that left hip back. And then flip yourself back down again. Shoulders lift, crown lifts. One more time, lifting everything up and giving a nice deep fold. Taking a few breaths in the fold and dropping down. So then you just move that block for a moment. Bring the left knee down. Curl the back of the toes on the left. Bring the right foot up. Plant that block. Bring your hands down. So try to keep the foot and the thigh right next to each other there, the inner thigh. Hands come down onto that block. Inhale and feel that lift. And then as you exhale, you're folding forward. Press the right hip back and the left hip forward. Press to that left heel. Dropping everything down. Elongate to the crown of the head. Inhale to lift and then folding forward. Good. Dropping everything back down. And one more time, the lift. Good. And drop the crown down. From here, just remove the block. Stay in a forward fold. So step both feet forward to a forward fold. Hold the elbows, clasp the elbows, and just draw the crown of the head down. So you're taking a nice deep forward fold. Lift through your tailbone. You might begin by bending one knee and then the other. And this is our first yin posture. And like we say in yin, right, we find that sweet spot and then we stay and let time and breath do their job. So you should feel opening in the low back. If you need to bend your knees, that's great, that's fine. Just lift through your tailbone and really draw the belly to the spine. And just continue watching the breath. And you might decide to sway. See what that feels like. You might continue bending. Just finding some moment when you can be still and balanced. Feeling the arches lift. Pressing down through the four corners of both feet. Trying not to grip through the toes. And feeling the tailbone lift and the crown descend. So as you settle in and watch the breath flow, you might feel lengthening through the back of the legs and through the length of the spine. We'll stay here for a few breaths. If you're teetering side to side, try to notice if you're teetering too much, too long, unevenly to one side, and then see if you can sort of just continue to come back to the center line with an even flow. Maybe you're rocking on the balls of the feet and the heels just so energetically, not really lifting either, but just energetically floating forward and back. You spend every moment hunched forward and hurrying forward, so this should feel really nice. Slowly, deeply bend those knees and feel your torso drop right down on the thighs. You might even hold the forearms behind you, clasping the elbows, and then lift again, straightening everything out. Good. One more time. Inhale and collapse down onto forearm, the belly onto your thighs, and then lift as you exhale. One more time, collapsing down, breathing in, and straighten everything out, and exhale. Plant your hands, find your way out onto your mat, and from here you're going to step the right leg back. So you can take it, again, every time we do a yin posture and hold, it might feel good to come into a down dog or a table, and that's something that you can decide whether I offer it or not. But when you're ready, you're going to come into a lunge. So the left leg is over the knee over ankle. And then you're going to drop that back leg. So again, we did this when we did our class the other day. You can press your knee over ankle and just press into the thighs here. This is a nice lift, feeling the opening through the right hip flexor. You can lower all the way down and just bring your knuckles down so you're not lifting and pressing down deep into your torso, into your thigh, but you're like hovering over. And you can always bring both hands or forearms onto a block. So those are some invitations. Just decide what feels good. And maybe what felt good the other day is different than what feels good today. And once you find what works for you, you find time. Just watch the breath flow. And really inviting the breath into the space created in the posture. Adjust as you feel the need, and then come back to stillness and time. Continue to find that sense of lifting through the crown. Continue to notice if you're stacking the bones. Bones like to stack. And know, obviously, if you're hyperextending or overstretching, we all know the difference between that good stretch and that stretch that causes hurt. We'll stay for a few more breaths. Bring yourself into 3 full rounds of breath, breathing with awareness and fluidity. And then as you inhale, slowly, ever so slowly, walk those fingers back, draw your tailbone back, and extend the front leg nice and long. So you draw the tailbone back, lift through the toes. Just try to shimmy around and loosen everything up. And then we'll step forward. So you take that right leg and sweep it forward. Now you're going to feel different, right? You're going to feel a lot of length and openness in the right side. Bend the knees and just settle and drop down to the crown of the head here.
And then when you're ready, plant the fingers and step the left leg back. So we take that on the opposite side. You definitely want to drop the knee down for this posture. And I'm watching the time so that we don't have to think about anything but breath flow. And again, you can land and hover. The hands can land on the right thigh and you can take a nice lift, shoulders down the back. Or you can elongate through the crown of the head and bring the hands down and just find length this way. And you can bring the block on the inside. You can always bring the palms to the inside or the forearms down. So there's lots of invitations and variations of the posture, and each side of the body is going to feel different. So don't try to copy what you did on the left side if that's not serving you. That's what we're trying to do, is breathe into the space we're creating and open and loosen to come back to a sense of balance in the left-right body. You're always invited to move and adjust as you need to. And with the breath flow, with the inhalation and the exhalation, the body lengthens and goes deeper into the stretches. So sometimes there's a need for adjusting because the body's opening. You're creating that space, that desired stretch. You might even invite yourself to feel a scissoring of the thighs, like they're energetically drawing towards each other, even in the extension. The opposite extension and then that energetic pull towards each other. And then begin to bring yourself to 3 full rounds of breath. And very slowly on an inhalation, walk the fingers back, lift through the tailbone, pressing back through the tailbone. You extend that right leg long, turn the leg side to side. Good. And then begin to take a nice deep bend in that right leg and then step it all the way back. Press the palms into the mat, curl the toes, and press yourself up, downward facing dog. Breathe. So in your downward facing dog, press your palms into the mat, lift through your tailbone. Imagine your thighs pressing into the wall behind you, and you might be pedaling the heels for a moment. That feels good, left and right. You might even bend so deeply that you can draw the thigh and the torso towards each other of the bent knee. Push, push, push through the palms like you're pushing the mat forward. And allow your gaze to come down through between the legs. Just gazing down. Good. Sweet little puppies helping you do your down dog. Lifting and breathing. And down dog can be a resting pose, but it can also be a strength. You can build strength in the upper body as you lengthen through the back body. Feel the belly draw towards the spine, and then allow length through the spine as you continue to press through the mat and lift through the tailbone and the thighs. Notice if you're teetering left towards right. Notice if your knees are dinging in just a tiniest little bit. See if you can energetically sweep them open a little deeper and wider. And can you press into your feet, all four corners, and lift through the arches? Can you lift your toes? Spread them wide or let them just hover wide. Take 3 full breaths in your downward facing dog. Good. And then slowly allow your knees to come down. Drop yourself all the way down so you can hug your elbows in and lower all the way down onto the mat. From here, you're lengthening. So extend one leg and then the other and bring it down. So you're just offering that nice length and stretching. Feel your thighs draw in and towards the mat. So you feel the energetic energy of those thighs come in towards each other and connect downward towards the mat, the pelvis as well. And then bring the forearms onto the mat, elbows right below the shoulders. And just see if you can lift through Sphinx pose here. We'll take some breaths in Sphinx pose. It's a modification of Bhujangasana. Lift through the crown of the head. Plant those palms evenly. And you can feel your pelvis and your thighs connecting to the earth, maybe your hips. So lifting up through the crown and soften through the jaw so that you have that beautiful slope along the spine. You might feel the rib cage is lifting. Pressing energetically down through the legs, pointing those toes away. Breathe. This is a really nice posture for the root chakra, the sacral chakra. There's that deep connection up into the earth, and then the simultaneous rise to the crown. Watch your breath flow. Slowly, deliberately, sweep that right arm in front. Take your left hand and hold this left foot. And you can stay right here, just realign yourself back to the center. Stay right here if that serves you. And if you like, you can lift the left thigh up and press the left foot into the hand. So you can feel that lift. Press the toes away and try to find breath here. And slowly lower that thigh down. Release the hand and bring it out across the body. And then you do the same. The right arm comes around and you lift the right foot up into the hand and lift through the thigh. Again, you're noticing one side of the body is different than the other. The quadriceps are tight and on both ends they're getting extended here. So you lift, you just notice and breathe. And then bring everything back down. From here, you're going to lower yourself down and lift back through child's pose. So you lift through your tailbone, draw your tailbone back, extend the arms long. Now your spine, your low back, the belly just settles in. You can feel your tailbone draw down towards the earth. Your sits bones connect to your heels. With the crown of the head on the earth, feel that lengthening through the spine and watch the breath flow. So with your hands extended, just turn the wrist upward, palms face up. You can turn them back and forth for a couple of breaths. You might even make fists and wiggle the fingers. And then you can also lift and tent the fingers, pressing into the pinky sides. And with each breath flow, you might feel that the length is coming into the spine, and you might lift and draw the head down a little further up on the mat. You might be pressing the tailbone deeply into the heels. If you want to add any extension for the arms, you can walk them left and back through center and right. That can feel really nice. You breathe in and walk them in one direction, feeling that openness along the inner arm of the extended arm, and then you walk them back through center and to the opposite side. You might bring the hands to the heels and just have one more moment of the stillness here. And then on an inhalation, allow yourself to rise up. Coming up for a breath, lifting through the crown of the head and coming back to that original hero's pose and swaying side to side. Good. And staying with the connection to those quadriceps, we're just gonna lean back. I'm gonna show you a posture that you can, some options to this posture. So first you can come down, just bring your palms down so your fingers face each other, and you can face your feet, face your back of your body. You can come as low as you like. You can also come deeply down onto your forearms if that feels good, and see my knees can pop up, but I can draw them back down. And then you can also do one leg at a time. So just notice this is gonna feel super tight to some people. And if you end up on one foot and that one knee up, you can just release the other foot to the side. So I'll show you. I'm gonna lift this foot up and plant it, and then I shimmy this one to the side a little, so the heel might still be up or to the side. It just depends on how your body is. And my foot is right next to that thigh, just like it was in the warm-up, and I bring the thigh, forearms down. And as I lift through the belly and the chest, the shoulder blades can come together. And then I'll show you a deeper version of this posture where you come all the way down onto the back, one knee up and one leg down, or extending both legs down onto the mat and just breathe in. So with those invitations, I'm going to leave you to do what serves you. And if you're doing one side, I can see you're nicely in both legs back. So just breathe in and out. I'm going to float down in the posture and join you so that it's in the video, if anyone's watching later, the full version. And maybe as you're settling in, you can come down a little deeper and take the forearms out. And if you do so, you might feel the lift through the low back. And you can just bring one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the heart, or you might just leave the hands on the heels. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath and take 3 full, even rounds of breath. And as you feel ready, begin to press yourself up. Notice and be kind to any energy cultivated. Sometimes it's funny in a yin and you don't appreciate it till after. And then just extend those legs out. And as you press the legs out, you can just shake them.
loosen them, roll side to side, remove the flesh from underneath connecting the sits bones so that when you press the sits bones down, they come to the earth. And then from here, lift your left leg and step it over your right. So the foot comes down on the opposite side. Sit with your extended right leg, toes press up. And then you take this left arm and really hug that right knee in. Extend your left arm and inhale to get nice and tall. And as you exhale, sweep the left arm out behind you. You can bring the hand down to the earth if you want to really press deeply into the stretch, or you can keep the arm extended and gaze down the length. So doing whatever feels right to you. Press those toes up of the right leg, sitting up nice and tall and pressing deeply into the stretch. Lengthen through the spine. Hug that knee in. Finding 3 full, even rounds of breath. And on that next breath, you bring yourself around to center. Release that left leg and extend it down the mat. And then we lift the right leg and bring the right leg up and over, getting nice and tall. Hug that left arm around, and here we go. The right arm lengthens out in front of you, and then as you exhale, you sweep that right arm out behind you. So you're gazing down, sort of right to that middle finger nail, lengthening, lifting, or you're bringing the hand down and gazing off, finding that drishti just off in the near distance. Watching the breath enter and exit through the nose. Allowing yourself to ring out in the twist. Coming to that place of letting go. As your mind sort of races or thoughts come up, just watch them go. See if you can really stay in the balance of the breath flow. Stay in the depth of the deep posture. And then allow the mind and the thoughts to just float by. And then slowly begin to unravel. Take those 3 full rounds of breath before you come out so that you're really mindful about the transition. On your next breath, come on back around to center. And again, it might feel good to roll on each side,
Noticing the low back. Good. Sit up nice and tall here. Extending those legs long. Draw the arms up. Gaze up. And this is Paschimottanasana. So you're coming forward, lengthening and coming forward. You can bring your hands to your feet or to the earth and just see if you can get nice and long. And as you lengthen, you get longer through the torso. And as you exhale, you feel forehead draw deeper towards the shins. You might even land the forearms down on the mat, or you might be able to hold the heels. Just find what works in this stretch, and you'll notice how deeply the body wants to surrender and go inward here. Breathe freely and fluidly through any tension. Try not to press and deepen from hurrying. Just let the breath bring you down slowly. You can really take the opportunity to calm the body and the mind when you're able to go deeply into forward folds. And then take your 3 full breaths, even fluid rounds of breath, and float yourself back up. As you rise up, you're going to bend the knees and be very gentle on the low back as you come down. Whenever you do any kind of yin and you really open, you got to be careful how you just kind of float down. So you might hold the backs of the thighs and roll down one vertebrae at a time to really feel that open extension. And as you come down, this might be a nice place to bring your strap that you went off to get. So come on down here, hug the knees in for just a breath. Good. And then bring the left foot down, extend the right leg up, and you're going to take that figure 4. So I want to make sure you can still see me. You're going to take that figure 4. And today, as you lift, you can either bring your hands through the left foot, the left opening created around and hold the shin, or you can use your strap. So you're holding on, and then you really want to let your head and neck be soft onto the earth. This is a reverse pigeon. So press this right knee with your right hand up and away and draw through your strap the left side body toward the heart, that left thigh. And allow yourself, you can move the right hand when you're ready, but just notice that you're pressing that right knee down the mat. You can hold the strap in 2 hands or 1, but just try to find softness in the grip. And then if you're able to reach through and hug the shin with your own hands, you can do that too. And that might develop as you're in this posture. Find what feels good though before you settle in, and soft through the neck and breathe. Notice if you're shifting toward the right, and let the energy lift you up and align the legs properly, and then draw the left knee towards the heart, and you feel a nice stretch in the back of the right thigh.
staying here for a little bit longer, because this is a nice important posture to really open up any aches and pains in the low back, any tension in the hips. You might even rotate the ankle of the left foot while you're in this nice restorative pose. You can wiggle and circle that ankle around. Good. Take your 3 deep breaths here. And as you come through your next breath, just invite this right leg to crisscross all the way over. So now you're hugging the knees in, crisscrossing here. And from here, you're going to fold everything over to the left. So come on down to the left, stack the right shoulder, and then roll the right shoulder along the ear and open towards the right. So the legs and knees press towards the left, and the shoulder of the right floats open to the right. Bring your gaze to the right. Allow yourself to really settle into the twist. You don't have to overextend that right arm. Just let it flop open wherever it lands. Feel the twist and the stretch and just breathe into that space created. And sometimes in the posture, you have to move and adjust, and that's fine. And just try to come back to as many moments and opportunities with stillness as you can. Bring your awareness to the breath and watch the breath for 3 full rounds. And now on your next breath, sweep that right shoulder up. And then float everything back to the center line, bringing the knees back, hugging everything in. And then you plant the right leg down. And we repeat all of that on the opposite side. So again, you can use your strap to slide through. You're in your figure 4. The left ankle is pressing against the right thigh. And you can draw the shin in nice and close. Or you can sweep your hands through. And just take a moment here to let the head come down. So as you decide how you want to hold that scarf or hold the shin, just let the head come softly down. Take your left hand to press that left knee up and away. And then find your hold of the strap or the shin and just draw that in and begin to let the breath and time do their thing. You might turn the ankle side to side or first take long moments here of stillness. And again, the knee wants to draw towards the left. So feel the energy drawing the body back a little bit towards the right. So you come to the center and then draw that knee and shin towards the top of your mat. Breathe, soften. And you can feel here with the breath flow how you soften. You can feel the spine, the neck, the shoulders. Everything softens to the mat. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Body, mind, spirit, softening, lengthening, rejuvenating. one side in this posture can feel completely different than the other side. So just honor where you are, body, mind, spirit, honor where you are, left, right side, and see if you can sort of feel yourself bringing the body, mind, spirit into balance. And then begin to watch the breath flow. 3 full rounds, even full rounds. And on your next breath, just allow the left leg to sweep totally across the right. Hug them both in. You can wiggle the toes again if that feels good. And so from here, sweep everything over to the right side, stack the shoulders, and then rotate the left shoulder open and gaze to the left. You're just drawing that left arm open across along the ear or extending it long, whatever feels good to you. Stretches in the twist. Take those nice fluid rounds of breath here. 3 full breaths. On the next inhalation, bring that left shoulder up, float everything back to the midline, release the legs. You can press that spine along the mat as you draw the knees in one more time. Take your hands and land them one on each kneecap and make nice circles. You can feel the bone, the femur bone circling, the socket and the joint connecting. And then as you come back around and up to the together, just begin to inhale and press them in the opposite direction. Good. From here, take this opportunity to take a happy baby. You bring the knees and they press towards the shoulders or the armpits, and you bring your feet right up to the air. Press the feet up and away. Finding a few breaths here of floating side to side, left, right, massaging the backs of the hips. Feel the tailbone connecting, and then find stillness. Press those legs wide. You can even draw the shins, the heels, press a little bit into the heels, and you draw the shins forward towards the top of your mat, opening up a little deeper. When you find stillness, you might lift the head and gaze the length of your spine, and then lower down, engaging the head and neck all the way down. Breathe. Some of these postures we do all the time when we do yoga, but we don't stay in them very long. So just take the time here in your happy baby and try to soften through the whole spine, through the whole length of the spine, through the shoulders and the neck. Taking a nice deep breath here, slowly release the legs.
pedal them down the mat. So one leg at a time presses. You can feel tightness or openness, just noticing what's happening because of all the work with the hips. Good. And then from here, lay out nice and straight onto your mat. Take your left heel to your left corner of your mat and your left shoulder to the left side of your mat. So you're creating this C curve. The right side is exposed, and then bring the right ankle, the foot over that left ankle, or keep it right beside. So if it's too much to put the foot over the ankle, you can keep it right beside. Finding what works. Extend the right arm up, and then take your left hand and take hold of that forearm, that left forearm, that right forearm, and then gaze to the right. This is a really beautiful posture at the end of all that opening and twisting and hip work. So just let the breath flow freely along the whole right side body. Coming back to that sense of balance, left-right balance. You're keeping both hips on the mat. You're not lifting the right hip. It's really pressing into the mat. Take a nice deep inhalation and exhale. And the next time you inhale, unravel from your bind, bring everything back to the center, and then the right heel comes right, the right shoulder comes to the right, and then you take the left foot and crisscross, or you bring the left leg beside, finding what feels good to you. From here, the left arm rises up. Take hold with the right hand, anywhere along the forearm or the wrist that feels good, and then bring your gaze to the left this time. Float that left hip back onto the mat if it's lifting. And just notice here, left, right side energy. One side might really feel like a super stretch and one side might not. Just notice. Breathe into the side body. Take a nice big inhalation and exhalation. And on your next inhalation, release the arms, release the bind at the ankles. Just slide yourself back towards the center of your mat and come down for your Shavasana. Your Shavasana, you can sort of press into your heels and lift your hips up and then bring them back down so they come down evenly onto the mat. You can press into the top of the head, the back of the head, and bring the shoulder blades together if that feels good. Float your arms open. Let your feet spill apart. Just feel that body, that heaviness from the toes and the heels and the shins and thighs. Feel your hips connect to the earth. Notice that soft curve in the low back. Feel the weight of the shoulders
torso. And again, that soft curve in the back of the neck. Feel the head on the mat. Allow any last minute tension or worry to just dissipate down the arms and out the fingers. Let everything go. This is your time. Surrender completely here. Body, mind, spirit. Watch the breath flow in the mind's eye as you drift off. Meet Me in the Soft Place by Zach Beach. Meet me in the soft place where the essence of things reveals itself, where kindness was birthed from a need to not feel alone in the world. Meet me in the soft place where the sun-warmed grass receives you with open arms, where the mother raccoon takes her babies at night, knowing no creature will bother them, where there are no knives that cut or words that bleed, or fear of what happens when our inner darkness is revealed, where you feel safe to take off the bandages and reveal your inner wounds, and I show you mine. Meet me in the soft place where your footprints leave imprints in the sand, where we reach out with our hands and draw pictures and initials in hearts. Meet me in the soft place and realize we are the same, nameless love. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bring your awareness back. Body, mind, spirit. Turn your head side to side. And just when you feel ready, you can hug those knees in and float to one side, and then press yourself up at the pace that works for you. As you float up, you just draw those hands to heart center, feeling the lift through the crown and the energy cultivated throughout the body.